But yeah, man, that's pretty dope. Are you gonna? What are you looking to? I know weight really isn't the best
It's just
means
one thing.
of
Yeah,
it's literally just one thing. But around what weight do you feel the best? Like if you were to maintain it?
definitely. I want 170 to be the maximum weight that I'm hitting, and that's if I've overindulged a lot. So what I'm
Mm.
thinking right now is, yeah, I hit my goal of 170, but I don't want 170 to be that one weight that I'm trying to strive for because it really
Yeah,
is easy to fluctuate. So I
yeah,
kind of want to be weighing below 165 in the mornings. And then
yeah,
if I do overindulge myself, like in the evening, like it can go up to 170. And then if I feel it, if I've passed 170, I don't know if I'm going to be tracking like every single day rigorously like what I'm doing now, but I'll
yeah,
check
yeah,
it once in a while. And if I'm finding that I'm going over 170, that's when I have to just get myself back on track,
yeah.
and start like decreasing the number of calories I'm having until I've gotten back into that sort of sweet spot in my weight
Yeah.
fluctuation, which is really going to be 165 is sort of that average that I'm trying to
Mm.
hit. And then after that, I think body fat's going to count way more. So right
Yeah.
now I'm weighing in or not weighing, whatever the uh, measuring in at 14% body fat. I definitely
Yeah.
want to be under 10% by the end of this year. And I think
You
that's
got
pretty accomplishable,
Yeah, for sure.
hopefully.
I mean,
Yeah.
the body fat. Are you seeing your abs again? Are you able to
Yeah.
see your abs again, like the full
Yeah.
six
The abs are
pack? Or
starting to show. Yeah.
all right,
I don't know if it's the full six pack yet. There's definitely a four pack there.
yeah.
But yeah, they're starting to come in again, which is nice. It's nice
That's
to see.
always my gauge. That's my body fat gauge. If I can see my abs, and it's like
Yeah.
how defined they are. That's always how I gauge my body fat, because when I go over a certain amount, like what I'm at right now, I'm like around 190, 195.
Yeah.
And I feel the best when I'm in the 180s,
Okay.
like
Yeah. For
low
your height,
180s.
like that's perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then whenever I'm like overeating and getting too much, like I always develop this fat that spare tire basically. So
Belly
that's
fat.
always the last to go, bro. That's always the last. So it's like I'm always trying to get those bottom two abs
Yeah. The
to
bottom two
show.
abs and the droopy
Yeah,
chest has always been problematic for me,
yeah.
for sure. It's
It's
always
not
the
it's
last to
not that
go.
I give a shit about abs at all. I'm literally just using that as a way to measure
Yeah.
my body fat, as
Yeah.
a tool to be like, all right, when I'm at this body fat, I feel the best physically. Like I feel the best physically and mentally
Yeah.
when I'm at this level. So I'm using that tool to track that and basically get myself to that
Yeah.
mindset.
Yeah. Because in most
Um,
cases, like you don't really have to work on your abs to have
yeah,
abs show. Yeah, you can do different core exercises and crunches, I
yeah,
guess, and things to make them really pop out. But if
mhm,
you watch videos on like fitness and stuff, then you probably know like abs are made in the kitchen. So as
yeah,
long as you're shredding the body fat, abs are going to show whether you like it or not. Like, so it is a
yeah,
really good way to measure it. The only other way that was really helping me, especially because weight fluctuates a lot, right? And if I'm measuring it
mhm,
daily, there are going to be moments where it spikes up and I'm going to sit there wondering like, what the hell did I do? Like that caused my weight
yeah,
to go up. That's natural. It's fine. You have to have a long-term perspective on that. But there is a non-scale victory that really kept pushing me every single day. Like every week when I did my Monday morning weigh-in, that was sort of the checkpoint I had Mondays. Um, I would have shirts and pants that I could not fit into at that time. Like either like my
mhm,
brother handed it down to me because it was slightly too big for him and he's way more fit than me, or I have
yeah,
shirts that I could fit into like back in college, and like a lot of them were button-up shirts. Like I could barely get like one button on them at that time in February. So like every week I would try to, and like there would be some days where I would button up to like the third one. I'm like, this is progress, even though it looks awkward and tight as hell. Like I
yeah,
am progressing right now.
yeah, yeah.
And I think like in May, I finally actually fit into those shirts. It was kind of
Wow,
tight, and as I wouldn't go out in public wearing it, but I was able to button it all the way up to the top. Now I can
nice.
actually fit those shirts. So like, it's like a great feeling, and it's really measurable, and like it just keeps you
Mhm,
focused. It puts everything in perspective for you. Like you don't just have to live and die by the scale. Like there are so many
yeah,
other
yeah,
things you can be doing. You can be also just seeing how you're doing in your workouts, if you're running better, if you're able to do things pull ups better, if all that is progressing,
mhm,
those are all like clear signs that you are
yeah.
making progress and getting healthier. So
It's really just you have to use them as tools. Like that's
yeah,
all it is. You use these things as a means to an end, and then the end goal should be feeling good physically and
exactly.
mentally.
Yeah,
And then you have to treat your body like a machine, man. Your body's literally just a machine that holds your brain and your spine together. That's
yeah.
literally it.
And it
And
requires maintenance. That's all of it.
whatever you put in your body is fueling your machine. So if you think about that, if you think about your body as a machine, like if you're a car, you know, if you keep fueling it terrible gas and terrible, oil, it's gonna run like shit. It's gonna be like shit. It's not gonna last as long. But if
Yeah,
you like keep fueling it with different things, and it's not a good example for working out, but at least nutrition wise,
yeah,
if you keep fueling it with really good stuff, it'll perform and run very smoothly. So that's the best analogy I can think of is really just treat your body like you have to change your perspective of what food is and what exercise is. It's not
yeah,
something that you should just have to do, because other people are doing it or because you want to look good. It's really just like if you want your body to be the best that it can be and to feel the best, would you rather be depressed and not feeling good half the time and then just eating whatever you want? Or would you want to feel great? Do you want to feel like you can actually do stuff and not be winded? You want to feel like, you can walk up the stairs and not have a problem about it. And it's just little things like that. Just little things that change the way you think about, exercise and diet and everything. It's just like, you have to think of your body as something that is very, changeable. It's very malleable. So you have to really put into it the work and the different, the diets. Um,
definitely.
Not necessarily diet. I don't really like diets because
Yeah,
they all work, but they don't work long term.
yeah.
Like it's not consistent. So it's really
It's
just
more
like
lifestyle. Yeah,
it's 100% lifestyle. It's like
yeah,
next time you think of like, if you think about it this way, like what would be better fuel for your body to make you feel better? Would it be a pint of ice cream or an apple or something like that? An apple with peanut butter. Like that's what I use when I have to snack. When I'm like really craving something, I'll just cut up an apple and put peanut butter on it, and it's like I don't feel terrible the next day as I would
yeah,
when I eat a pint of ice cream.
definitely.
And it's just like it's just killing your body when you put shit into it,
Yeah,
and
and that
then when
actually
you
brings up a good point for me
yeah
also, because I used to have a lot of gummies, a lot of Reese's, a lot of different kinds of candy, and I felt like
yeah
I need these sweets to feel good. So like it's okay to have it once in a
uh,
while, but the thing about these kinds of sweets is it's all processed and refined sugar, highly
very addictive.
addictive.
Yeah,
So like now I haven't been eating any of that stuff, but I've been eating
hmm
things like dried cranberries, raisins, dried mangoes, a lot of dried fruit,
yeah,
like fruits, like berries. And these things, like at this point, they taste like candy to me. Like
yeah.
before, I'd be like, oh, this kind of sucks. I'd rather have a gummy bear or something. Now it's like, wow, this is super sweet. I love it. Like it's great.
You're
This is my
you're
treat.
literally you're tricking your brain. You're getting the same dopamine levels from the Reese's as you
Yeah,
would with this dried fruit. You're literally just
exactly.
just switching it in your brain. So your brain is like, oh, this is fucking amazing, but then your body's like, all right, I can deal with this.
Yeah.
This is not
And
not
it's still
killing me.
something you can moderate because it's not addicting you
Yeah,
to it. Like it feels nice, and yeah, and it's raising
yeah,
your dopamine level, but you
yeah,
don't feel like you have to eat like a whole pile of craisins or raspberries or anything. Like it just
yeah.
helps
You
you
don't really
every
want
day.
to.
Yeah. It doesn't feel great if you have too
Yeah.
much of it.
I,
Like little
I
bits,
can eat a whole bag of Reese's Pieces, right? I can
definitely
literally
same
just sit
here.
there and eat a whole bag. I will not eat a whole bag of dried fruits. Like
Definitely.
after a few of them, I'll be like, all right, I think I'm done. So
Yeah, I know.
it's just how it goes back to that same thing. Like the Reese's Pieces, like if you break it down, it's literally just processed sugar, right? And it's just like immediate gratification, right? You're
Yeah.
just like immediate, like your mouth is being super pleased, your brain is being like
Yeah.
jacked up with dopamine, and then but you get this huge crash because you're literally getting a huge spike of energy and no nutrients. There's zero nutrients, so
Yeah.
it's just going straight to fat. Like your body's
Yeah.
like, oh, we got all this energy, and but we're not doing anything. We're just sitting on the couch, so it's going to be stored for later. We'll use that later. So that's literally just you got to keep in mind when next time you eat something like that. Like next time you go for a pint of ice cream, you're like, this is literally a pint of energy. And if I eat this and sit on the couch and not use any of this energy and not work out or do something, it's literally just my body's just going to convert it to fat and it's just going to store energy for later. That's all fat is. It's just stored energy.
Yeah.
So as long as you change your perspective and start thinking in that terms, I think you'll have a better idea of what works for you and what doesn't, as far as diets go, as far as nutrition goes. What helps me the most to get over like withdrawal symptoms is literally just intermittent fasting. So I'll eat 2 meals a day. I won't have my first meal till like 3 or 4 p.m. And then I just like once you do that enough, like the first 2 days of withdrawal is terrible. You just got to get through it. And then after that, it's like I'm not hungry. I feel the same. I feel energetic. I'm just not hungry until 4 or 5 p.m. And then I eat my two big meals that T cooks, and then it's all like whole foods. We don't have any processed foods.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically we're trying to avoid frying things. We're mostly baking things.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to avoid any excess like processed flour and stuff like that. So it's mostly just whole foods, mostly meat and vegetables, and that gets me through the day. And that I feel great when I'm doing that. And then it's like once you eat a little bit of sugar, if you ever notice, if you eat sugar at night and then the next day you're like starving, it's just because your blood sugar is so low, and it's like your body's like, your body's like, oh, that's a lot of sugar. Let's do this again. That felt great. and then the next day you're like starving. Or I always feel like lightheaded, like I feel low blood sugar the next day if I eat too much shit. So it's really just like as long as you make the choice to not eat like shit the night before, then the next day your mindset will be all that much easier to deal with everything that comes in front of you. You'll be like, all right, I don't really feel like eating that that peanut butter, or that Nutella rather, and maybe I'll just go with an apple or something like that. So it's like you gotta put in the work ahead of time to be more consistent that way.
And something like intermittent fasting, like it's so powerful and so helpful for you to be able to manage what you're eating. But you have to see it as a tool or a means to an end, because intermittent fasting itself is not going to help you to lose weight or to maintain or anything. It all depends on what you're putting in your body. So intermittent fasting helps in the sense that you're compressing everything into a window of time that you eat. And so you're not like stuck there eating like all throughout the day and possibly messing up. It increases your chances of messing up or deviating from the nutrition that you should be having. That's where intermittent fasting really comes into play, I think. And there's some science behind it as well, like how it helps. There's some science behind how it can be beneficial, but that's that's not as important. Like the important thing is it is a tool to help you be able to manage the timing in which you eat. If you're eating only once or twice in a day, it's so much easier to manage that and to know what you're putting in your body, as opposed to mindlessly eating a snack without realizing it. Like mindlessly eating like a bag of Reese's at some point in the day that's outside of the window, like you've cut that risk out. So but the point I'm trying to make is it's what you're eating. If you're eating a bunch of junk food while you're intermittent fasting, that's not going to help you. Like that's going to be terrible.
If you're still eating 3,000 calories in your 2 meals, you're not going to lose weight, even if you are intermittent fasting. But I think it's a great tool in that it really, when you're only eating 2 meals a day, those 2 meals become very important, because it's like you want to put as much nutrition into those 2 meals as possible.
Yeah.
And then it also helps you, it makes you wonder, like, when you get hungry, right? Like, it's one of those things where it's like, it hurts you in the moment. But if you just get past that, if you wait 10 minutes and don't eat right away, the hunger goes away, dude. Yeah. It's like, it literally just goes away. And it's like, oh, okay, that wasn't, what was the, why am I always like, feel like I'm starving?
Yeah.
Or, as long as you get, for me, what I do is when I don't eat till like 4 or 5, I'll get to a point where it's like maybe 2 p.m. and I'll start getting a little bit of hunger,
Mhm.
and then I'll like drink a cup of coffee or something, or some tea,
Yeah.
and or just drink a whole jug of water or
Yeah, or
something
like a
like that.
sparkling water or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then basically once you get past that 20-minute 10 20-minute threshold of hunger, and then that goes away, and then you're like you're fine. And then I wait till I'm hungry twice. So the first time I'm hungry, I'll notice that like I need to start eating something soon, and then I'll hold off, and then when I get hungry again, that's when I'll eat my first meal. So that's just how my body works. Like it's going to
Yeah.
work differently for everyone, but
Exactly. You
for
have to
me,
experiment with what
yeah,
works for you. But I think, yeah, having that window, like having a compressed window really helps you start to see food more as fuel, like fueling the machine. Like, what can I
yeah,
do to pack in the most nutrition, like you said, as
yeah,
opposed to just instantly gratifying myself with this sugar or this other crap that I could be having
yeah,
instead. And yeah, if you do wait, then you realize you actually didn't need that to be happy. If anything, it
yeah,
would cause regret 10 minutes later if you did decide to have it. So,
yeah.
yeah.
And again, everyone's different. Like some people, they get really good benefits eating all day, like snacking all day, as opposed
Yeah.
to eating 1 or 2 meals. Like some people only eat 1 meal a day, and they put
Yeah.
like 2,000 calories into that meal. They eat like a giant steak, a giant salad, or something, and then they'll be fine. So
Yeah.
it's really, you have to experiment. You have to see
People
what works for
process
you.
nutrients differently
Yeah.
than others. Some
Oh, for
people
sure.
need different macros than others depending on what they're doing in life.
Yeah.
So yeah, you really do need to see how your body reacts to things. Don't make
Yeah.
that excuse in being like, I can add sugar and Reese's to my diet because that helps me, because it really doesn't. Like,
Yeah.
like fundamentally what's good for you and what's bad, and then you go from there. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like
don't feel like,
you're not gonna feel great if you eat like Michael Phelps' diet or The Rock's diet,
yeah,
and you don't put in the work that they put in. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And you don't have their genetics to be able to put in that work.
yeah.
So you just gotta experiment and just do what works for you. That's really the best advice I can give. It's just I've been experimenting since high school, I guess, man. Different diets, different workouts, and it's like
Hmm.
for me, intermittent fasting is the easiest tool to really maintain a certain weight. So it's
Yeah,
like I don't have to worry about doing all this other stuff. I can cheat a little because I know the next day I'm not going to eat for 16 hours or whatever. So it's like it just helps me put in the right mindset. And then it's just like one less meal you got to worry about. It's like
yeah,
one less thing
exactly.
you got
It's
to worry about.
convenient. I hate
Yeah,
eating breakfast. I really
yeah.
don't like it. And people
I don't
talk
like
about how
eating.
breakfast
Yeah.
is the most important meal of the day. Like, I'm not sure
No,
how much I believe that. But I
it's
guess now I am eating breakfast. But again, I'm not having like a whole hearty meal or anything.
yeah.
Like literally, I'm just eating a bar, and that's it. That sets me on the path
Okay.
to like the day. Like, I have the
Yeah.
bar, and then I have my 3, 4, 5 cups of coffee or whatever I'm having, and then I'll have
7
my
cups
next
coffee.
meal. Yeah, my 10th cup of coffee in there. I always stop after 12 o'clock though. That's the golden rule that I follow. That's,
Yeah.
on Thomas DeLauer. What the hell is the thing called? It's the Michael Chang. Michael Chang used to be the channel person, and then Thomas DeLauer took it over.
I don't remember.
I don't remember. I just remember I watched it a long time ago because he used intermittent fasting also.
Yeah.
So I would just follow that protocol because you said I can have however much coffee I want. I
Yeah.
just make sure I stop after 12 because otherwise I'm not going to fall asleep. So
Oh,
I
true, true.
basically do
Yeah.
that now. Yeah, and it's fine.
Yeah.
And then I'll have like some chamomile tea at night to kind of put me to sleep.
I've been, since we've been both working from home, I've been making coffee every day, and I drink coffee the first thing, um, after I wake up, and coffee, I'll drink 1 or 2 cups, and that really helps with the hunger. Like it really
Yeah,
helps, like,
definitely.
give me something less to worry about. Then I don't have to worry about, anything, like I'm starving or something. So coffee really helps, tea, drinking lots of water.
Yeah.
Those are just really helpful tools to help you maintain throughout the day.